Hello everybody and welcome back to the Retro Recall. I hope you're doing awesome. Today we have something really cool to go over. Before there was Siri or Bixby or Google Home, Alexa, all those good things, voice recognition software was something that was kind of getting into the market from a very, very, very early stage where you would talk to your computer. It would either accept commands from you or dictate what you were saying. So today's video is going to be focused on IBM ViaVoice. That's right, IBM ViaVoice. Voice dictation for Windows 95 and Windows NT. So let's get right to it. So IBM ViaVoice was in the market, well, I remember getting this specific copy back in 95. It's something that I had, was able to get from my parents, something that they had purchased. I really wanted it for myself to, exactly that, to sit back, just like the guy's doing in the picture, put my headset on my computer and type away. Now, my memories of the performance of this software was terrible. I knew for whatever reason, I remember typing in, dictating, and it was typing very slowly, or the words would be very behind on the screen, or sometimes it would miss words, things like that. And I chalked some of that up to being the computer I had at the time when I was trying to do this. I believe it was a Pentium 133 or Pentium 100 system with 16 megs of RAM. We have a slightly different system today to test this on, but definitely something really cool to have and to see. So it actually came into a couple different versions. So this one here is the just IBM voice dictation for Windows 95, Windows NT, and then we have voice type simply speaking from IBM. Yeah, I mean, very, very, very similar pieces of software, and they're both indicating for Windows 95 era. But then this one says it's the home edition of IBM Voice Type 3. So I don't know if what kind of versions or what kind of differences there are between the software. We won't be focusing on this today. This is just something that I have in the collection. But I definitely want to focus in on the ViaVoice just because I had, used that quite a bit when I was younger. So I just wanted to point out that they did have other versions of this depending on the market, would be my guess. So let's go over the box real quickly here. So we have the front here. Talk about the future. Speak to your computer like you're talking to a friend. Well, yeah, I didn't experience that, but we're going to see what we have today. Natural, easy to use, continuous speech, dictate directly into Microsoft Word, and industry-leading technology. I definitely want to try this and see if that works. Now, the operating system I'll be installing this on is Windows 98. I have a Windows 95 PC, but the specs of the PC are quite low. And my concern is that we'd just be sitting here doing the exact same thing. And naturally, that's if it's designed for Windows 95 and you have Windows 95 machine and Windows 95 hardware, it'd be more authentic as to, what you would experience back then. I guess you're just going to have to take my word for it, for what the older hardware would be versus Windows 98 and the existing hardware. Industry-leading technology, definitely. I mean, I believe that. I mean, think about this. Back in '95, I'm getting this, under the tree or my birthday. I think it was a Christmas present. But you have this. You open up and just it's all I can think about. Getting this installed in the computer, putting the headset on. That it includes, and just randomly typing things via the headphones. I mean, just being able to do that would just be just crazy back then. And now we have our cell phones and car and all these different pieces of hardware today that you walk around, you take it for granted. It just does it today. So it talks about the licensed software on the side here, and this is what you get inside with IBM ViaVoice. So we have lightweight noise canceling headset microphone. We have program software on CD-ROM. We have a reference card with frequently used commands. So basically how to tell the computer what to interpret, no different than a digital system today. And information regarding a family of IBM speech products. And then what you'll need to run. Entry-level processor, it's funny how it says entry-level processor, but 166 recommended processor equivalent to Intel Pentium 150 with MMX or faster. The system we have is a Pentium 200 MMX, so we'll be fine. 32 megabytes of RAM for Windows 95. 48 megabytes of RAM is recommended for Windows NT 4. 125 megabytes of available hard disk space, no doubt to put all the commands and storage. An IBM supported industry sound card, so Creative Lab Sound Blaster 16 or 100% compatible, which we have. CD-ROM drive we have, and some laptops and sound cards may require a microphone battery box, so for like enhancement and things like that. So our system is going to be the Pentium 200 custom built system that we had done a video on already. And so we'll be using that system, so we should be perfectly fine for what we're trying to do. So IBM ViaVoice, voice dictation for Windows 95, Windows NT. So speak to your computer like you're talking to a friend. Continuous speech technology, so you can speak without pausing between words. You can do more in less time. So ViaVoice for business, work better, smarter, and faster. Everyone in the organization can improve the way they work with this simple yet advanced technology. Free-flowing speech helps produce documents more efficiently. Then ViaVoice for home. So this is very well-rounded where you could take this to business, home, and for school as well. And then you have all your nice reviews that only the best would make the box, of course. And then continuous speech, increased productivity, dictate directly into Microsoft Word. So version 6, 7, and 97. I believe I have Word 97 installed on this computer. No initial training, adapts to the way you work, shortcuts, accuracy, context recognition, text-to-speech, large vocabulary, expand your vocabulary, ease of correction, and includes noise-canceling headset microphone. I look at that and I go, okay, well, noise canceling has definitely come a long way since then, but yeah, that's that. Now on the other side of the box, we have our typical IBM colored branding on the side. Free your hands and your mind will follow. All right, let's open up the box and see what we have inside. It's a fairly light box. I can't imagine there's too much inside here. But from what I remember, so let's take everything kind of out here and promptly display our box here on the channel. Okay, so we just have the typical cardboard cutout that would probably hold everything in place for us. So technology enhancing communications, the Andrea Anti-Noise Advantage, IBM's first. So not only did they say, we're going to include a set with you, but guess what? It can become even better if you are using the software, if you upgrade to certain different types of handsets, headsets, things like that. And of course, they give you special pricing breaks on these things, specifically around the fact that, you're being referred to by the IBM, and it got included in a leaflet in the box, which is still really cool. It's here today. And on the other side, we have, it says here, standard setup. So for your headset and microphone, so it'll take 2 jacks, of course, because obviously you have your earpiece and your microphone. And then sometimes they had mentioned you may need a powered box to be able to do this, depending on the machine that you're using. I don't think we're going to need this. From what I remember, that was just fine. And then it talks to you about how to position the microphone away from your face, because obviously, the further away, it's harder. The closer it is muffled, things like that. Yeah, and it tells you exactly what side of the microphone to speak into, just making sure you're not speaking on the opposite side. And of course, we have, thank you for buying this product from Andrea Electronics. My assumption is that they partnered, I mean, this paper is getting kind of brittle. They had partnered with IBM to include their headset in this. This is my understanding, or based on what I'm reading here. I mean, back then I wouldn't have cared about any of this. I just would have ripped open the box and started using it. But again, just telling you to register your device, which is fine. Won't be doing that today. IBM ViaVoice frequently used commands. So, they even give you more stuff. Jeez, look at that. So it tells you punctuation and formatting. So if you wanted to do certain commands like period, so period only for end of sentences, To get a question mark, you say question mark. So then you have to dictate. So like the quick brown fox period, like you'd have to say something like that. You wouldn't just assume it's going to fill in and anticipate when you can, end your sentences, begin your sentences, and things like that. So I'm going to keep this out because obviously it's been a long time since I've used this. And we'll just make sure that we have that aside for what we need. We have an IBM, more IBM stuff. This time's IBM branded. Oh, this is our $25 mail-in rebate that it boasts on the front of it. So you purchase this for whatever price it was, $150 or something, and then you submit the $25 off. Offer expires on December 31st of 1997. I think I missed the cutoff. Now, we have stuff. We have would be our microphone, which I believe is the green one. Yep. And our speaker as well. So, I mean, pretty straightforward for what it is. Now, it does come with this interesting, which is sealed. It says signal adapter. Now, I don't know what that is. Obviously, it's sealed. It wasn't used. There's no point to use it for whatever application I would have done at the time. But yeah, we'll definitely put that aside. And then we have our software, our IBM ViaVoice software on CD. And then we have an installation and support guide, which seems to be pretty hefty. I'm not going to go through the whole book here. Let's just take it out here. But it just gives you the instructions on how to install the software. Probably what that amplifier or that signal adapter is. So definitely. So there's also there's also in here, I do remember this, dictation trainer and enrollment. So you must run the dictation trainer and dictate the first 3 sentences basic before you can even use a SpeakPad or dictate directly into Microsoft Word. Because it needs to understand your voice. It needs to learn your voice. And that's probably what the storage is for, because it starts to store your voice and starts to learn from it. We're talking early days of speech recognition and all that stuff. And then, it gives you all this information. It tells you how to set up the microphone and all that. We'll be doing all this today. And it tells you if you are going to be using, just like we saw earlier, if you're going to be using a powered amplified box, you need it to, tells you how to hook it all up. Select your user. If you're getting errors, correcting errors in the text, it tells you how to do that. Technical assistance and support, which I doubt highly that they're still open. And complimentary services and all those good things in terms of additional training on IBM ViaVoice product where they would teach you. Okay, that's it. So let's we've gone over the box, we've gone over all the stuff inside, we've talked about all the preamble. Let's get this installed in the on the IBM or the IBM. I said IBM on the Pentium 200 with 128 megs of RAM and running Windows 98. That should get us going. Okay, and we're back with the custom Pentium 200 computer all built, set up here and all good to go. And if you haven't seen the review on this video, I recommend you go take a look. Definitely one of my earlier videos, but a beautiful system that we have here. Okay, I'm going to open the CD-ROM drive and get this CD installed. IBM ViaVoice for Windows 95. I'm just looking to make sure that I have the registration code here, which is good. And let's just see if it installs. IBM ViaVoice 9697. So English. Tells you the program and the operating conditions and environment. I can hear the sound. And there we are. We'll go ahead and register it to the retro recall. And ViaVoice. And word processors dictation support. Your setup can add automatic dictation buttons to the following word processors: Microsoft Word version 6, 7, and 97. Automatic buttons make dictation part of the word processor's toolbar, thus it's readily accessible when you want to dictate. Yeah, let's go ahead. We have Windows or Word 97 on here, so we should be good. And I'm watching the classic installer, Windows 98. Welcome to IBM ViaVoice. Talking to your computer takes on a whole new meaning with ViaVoice. Open SpeakPad or Microsoft Word to use your voice to create a document. With ViaVoice, you dictate, speaking without pauses between your words to get important work done. Microphone Setup Wizard will help you set up your microphone and adjust your audio levels. So let's get the microphone out. There it is here. Put that on my head. So it says set up the microphone. Click next to connect the microphone and set it up. Next. So sound output is going to be the microphone headset. And remove all parts from the Microsoft packaging or microphone packaging. Click on each picture that matches as a part that we have. So we have this, and that's it. And connect the speaker. We did that. And just in the headset. Okay, that's we have it all set up there as well. Important. Be consistent in where you place your microphone to get the best recognition results. I feel like, yeah, okay, testing audio playback. I'm going to turn it down a bit because we're good there. Connect the microphone, which we've done. Test. Now it asked me to be quiet there for a second because it needed to record the sound of the room. Now it says click continue and say, I am testing my microphone setup. I am testing my microphone setup. Microphone test successful. Click next to continue. Microphone connection complete. Your microphone is now connected to your computer correctly. Click next to adjust the audio level and test how well ViaVoice recognizes your words using the microphone. Okay, let's see how this works. Relief. About. Chair. Average. Floor. Without. Audio level adjustment complete. Click next to continue. Click start to test your new audio levels. Otherwise, click finish. Relief. About. Chair. Average. Floor. Without. One or more words were not recognized. Please make sure you are pausing between words. Your microphone is positioned correctly. Okay, we'll adjust that. Yes, I wanted to join. Yeah, no, we don't need the summary. We're good there. Okay, we have it installed. Now, the next thing I believe it wants you to do is do the registration. I think that's what it wanted to do. Originally, maybe that's what we just did, or is this the enrollment here? I think it's the enrollment here. Okay, so take a few moments, learn the basics. That's fine, just because we've done this. So let's click on Enroll. And this is the first enrollment. So trained, record, and remaining. So you would go through this to train your the system on your voice and how you speak and all those good things. So it's able to capture that information and learn as you go, from my understanding, and then you continue to train it as you go. Let's go ahead and click on Start and see. And welcome to enrollment. During enrollment and for continuous general dictation, you must speak continuously without pausing between words as if you were talking to another person. So click on Continuous, Next. Click this button to continue to the continuous general dictation enrollment. Train involves creating a personal speech file based on your speech patterns to improve recognition accuracy. That totally makes sense. Okay, let's go through all this. To enroll, you need to read these sentences aloud, comma, speaking naturally and as clearly as possible, comma, then wait for the next sentence to appear. The first section will describe how to complete this enrollment, period. Additional sections will introduce you to this continuous dictation system, comma, and let you read some other entertaining material. Okay, so I've gone ahead and recorded 50 lines of text on the in the software, in the training software. And what it's doing right now is taking my speech, and it says training continuous general dictation enrollment. So it's actually going through and listening to every one of my sentences and teaching the software on how I speak and being able to better recognize those words. So let's get this. It says it will take approximately 20 to 50 minutes to do. So I'm going to cut edit to that mark when we're ready to continue on with this awesome experience with IBM ViaVoice. Okay, courtesy of the wonderful world of editing, we have now reached the IBM enrollment completion phase of this installation. So the continuous general dictation training of first enrollment for the retro recall has completed successfully. We'll hit OK on that. And you can see you can go in and continue to enroll. So there's 215 remaining sentences to read. And through that process, from what I understand, as well as just using the software, will give you the clarity of your words, things like that. And it will actually, learn as you go, and, your accuracy will be way better as a result. So we're going to head and close that. I mean, we could sit here and go through all 215. We'll see how it does through this. But already, just by the enrollment process, from what I remember at least, and again, being a kid to where I am now, this computer's horsepower, it just gives us a lot more ability to be able to process the information, and it just seems a lot more smooth to me, a lot more seamless. But again, proof will be in the pudding as we go through the actual test of this to add to the database. At the end of the day, it's just about improving the software, improving the ability to do this. And it's so funny because one of the sentences it was saying during the enrollment side of things was, it said, hey, it never gets tired, so now you can work weekends and evenings uninterrupted. Did this set the future for what we do today? Who knows? Okay, I think the next step then is to load up Microsoft Word. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a restart of the system first, just so everything's kind of refreshed after the installation. And essentially, once we're done that, we'll do a restart and go into Microsoft Word to see if we can actually utilize the software and do dictation. And here we are, all back up, loaded up, all nice and restarted, and the moment of truth. So let's load up a new Word document just to see if it installed the plugin. Okay, let's see here. Oh, good old Clippy, hanging out with us. So yeah, so it installed this new toolbar down below here for dictation, just strictly dictation. Yeah, let's grab something to dictate. Yeah, let's see if we can do this. Okay, let's click on Begin Dictation. You must run the dictation trainer and dictate the first 3 sentences before you can use the SpeakPad or dictate directly into Microsoft Word, period. The dictation trainer will help familiarize you with continuous dictation and error correction, period. Okay, so it just said dictation stopped in my ear, even though I didn't say that to stop, but I did say, it's interesting, because in the book it says dictation period, so I don't know if that tells you to stop that. So let's begin dictation again and go from there. So the dictation trainer will help familiarize you to continue to. Okay. Also, it is a good idea to run the enrollment program to improve your recognition accuracy, period. It takes a little more than half an hour to read all 265 enrollment sentences, period. Okay, so it stopped dictation as I said it. So it interpreted this, so it takes a little more than half an hour, or half hour, so I said half an hour, so it missed out that, to read all 265 enrollment sentences. So it will be sentences, but again, I may not have been as clear enough. But as you learn, or as you go through the software and train it and learn it, it will eventually learn your intonations on that. And so the other thing that I forgot about is when you say 265, I'm just reading it as if I was reading it. However, when you're dictating it, you need to be a little more clear. So it encourages you to 265 or 26.5, things like that, just to kind of show what it is. Let's just do an example of that. So I'll begin dictation. 265 space. Okay, so it's kind of interpreting what this is right now, and it's actually going to listen to what I'm saying because I have dictation turned on right now. So I would say now 26.5 to see if it actually catches that and puts it where it needs to be. So you can see the system is actually listening to everything that I'm saying and typing out everything that I'm saying as best it can. Now, I'm speaking much more quickly than I would if I was reading from this. So it's just natural speech. And it's making a pile of mistakes by the looks of things. And so what we need to do then is go in and specifically train it and continue to train it and get all the sentences recorded and start to correct these things. Stop dictation. You can see that it's going through. So 265K, so it's interpreting what this is right now, what section of a listen to what tankers had to dictation turned. It's terrible. Okay. Yeah, it must be my speech. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to blame it on me and not the computer because this is amazing. Okay. But you can see the appetite for this, because you would go through this and read naturally, watch what it's saying, tell it to stop dictation, tell it to go back, you would correct the word, and then you would continue. But ideally, you would do this in an environment where you've already trained the application or trained the software to learn everything that you're used to saying. And it will start to get used to your words and your speech and all those good things. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool, to be honest with you, that it's just taking everything that I'm saying, and it's not too bad. When I was reading from the book, or being, I guess, much more clear versus just, despite the fact it says speak to your computer like you're talking to a friend, I don't think it gets to that level just yet until after it learns what you're saying. But I think at the beginning, if you were to actually take this and read, like manuals, books, just, go through the 265 sentences and learn and teach it, I think that would make a much more accurate system than what we have currently on the screen now. But the fact that there's a plugin right for Microsoft Word, I think that's great. And it's Word 97, which is even better. And in terms of at the time, keep in mind, when I say better, remember, we're back in 96, 97. For this right now. So yeah, I think that's great. And also the fact that it has, just look Clippy going there, the fact that it has its own system as well under the IBM ViaVoice folder. It allows you under tools to go in, and it does have a dictation area here. You can go in, you can continue to enroll for enrollment. You can do different things. You can add different words, things like that. So it does allow you to grow. We take for granted the work that goes into this. This would have been, one of the grandfathers or whatever of the software at the time compared to what we have today. And yeah, overall though, I'm pretty pleased with how it's working. The performance is way better than it ever was on my previous system. Just watching it go through and read through all the text and create that buffer and continue to add it, that's, as the accuracy is at least to be desired at the moment, but it's quick doing it now. Whereas I remember being on the Pentium 100 system with 16 or 8 gigs of RAM or 8 megabytes of RAM, it was just slow. It would just type a word, and it would freeze. And I don't have that feeling, or that I didn't have that experience with this. It's just this is just great. So yeah, I think that's a pretty successful test considering what we're working with here. We're running on software designed for Windows 95, and this would have been something that would have been put out to the home or the business and home market. And, and just being able to have this software and being able to utilize this software at home for dictation. And, if you're not a typer or anything like that, you would just train it and learn how to interact with it to be able to type everything out. That said, I believe that extends the test of the IBM ViaVoice experience for us today. And yeah, I generally thoroughly enjoyed doing this for everybody, and loved being able to share that piece of history. So that said, if you liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button. You'll be notified when I release new content such as this. Please leave a comment below. I try to comment and reply back to every one of my viewers. Love the interaction, so thanks so much for doing that. I'm always working on new content, but for now, we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.